Hi, how's everyone doing? I hope everyone's had a really good end of their week, start to their weekend. We are finishing up our last recipe for our recipes I've always wanted to try from kids' books. Today we are making the chocolate cake from Matilda. So it was a story first by Roald Dahl, and then was famously turned into a movie. And in it, Matilda is a child who really likes reading. She's very smart, she's very precocious, and she's also got some kind of like supernatural abilities, kind of, oh, and I had it right before this started, but you know the one where like you can move things with your mind? I swear I had it before this started, and then I lost it. That's okay, but that's what she's able to do. She's able to move things with her mind. She gets herself enrolled in school, and while her teacher is wonderful, yay Miss Honey, the principal of the school, Miss Trunchbull, is just heinous, really mean to kids, really hates kids, kind of tortures them with different things. And there's that famous scene where a slice of her cake goes missing, and we realize another student has eaten it, and she brings in an entire cake and makes him eat the whole thing in front of the whole school in an effort to humiliate this child. But they all kind of rally behind him, and he's able to finish the cake, which really upsets Miss Trunchbull. But anyway, and throughout it, eventually Matilda gets adopted by Miss Honey. Miss Trunchbull goes away, and a lot in part thanks to Matilda's intelligence and magic powers. And her parents leave because they're involved with some legal mess and all that. So it ends well for Miss Matilda, which is great. But that chocolate cake, any kid who's ever read the book, or especially if you've seen the movie, you've wanted to try a piece of that cake. I can almost guarantee it. So today we're going to make it. Oh, sorry, I thought I'd paused it, but then I realized I don't own any rights to Matilda at all. I don't make money off this anyway, but just putting it out there. No rights to it. It's time for another episode of Cooking with Kaitlin. That's me. Enjoy. All right, first thing we're doing is we are combining, let me pour some of this out. Hang on. Okay, so we're doing 1.5 cups of boiling hot water. We're going to do 2.5 teaspoons of espresso powder or instant coffee, whatever you're able to find. Because I'm going to have to cut these. Espresso powder I could not find, but I finally realized that maybe instant coffee was the way to go, because everything kind of talked about them in alternating terms. Okay, didn't quite fill it up, so we'll gingerly do that. We're going to just cut them both. There's one. There's 2, 2.5. So that was 3 packets of instant coffee, if anyone was paying attention. I'm just gonna make sure it all got out there. All right, and then we're doing 4.5 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate. And I know if you don't like coffee, you're sitting there like, oh, I don't really want to deal with it. Remember from other times we've done this, coffee just helps really bring out the richness of chocolate. You don't really wind up with a coffee flavor. Let me put it that way. Not really. You don't wind up with a coffee flavor. You just wind up with this really nice chocolate flavor going. And it really just kind of does that the same way, we add salt and such, is to just bring out that richness, bring out that velvetyness of it. There's different things you use to kind of activate it differently. But since this was supposed to be that really rich, really decadent chocolate cake, that's what we're doing here. So you'll see a few different things that are going to act that way for it. We're just getting it stirred up, getting the chocolate melted in it, and then we'll set it to the side and move on to our next. And we preheated the oven to 350. Good, maybe that helps you guys see a little better. There we go. All right, pause you a sec. All right, now we are combining our dry ingredients. We have 2.5 cups flour, 1 1/4 cup cocoa powder, all right, we're starting. It's going to be a total of 2 3/4 cups sugar. I'm going to pause you because I've got to keep refilling this because I'm using so many of the same measuring cups. All right, now we're doing 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda, so 1, half, doing 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder, that'll be one of our leavening agents. Then we're doing 1.5 teaspoons of salt. And remember, that's another thing that helps bring out that good chocolatey flavor. We're just going to stir all these up and then set them to the side before we get to mixing our wet ingredients. All right, I'm going to pause you while I get that ready. All right, now we're going to combine our wet ingredients. We have 1.5 cups of buttermilk. Let me get the little scraper. Just get all that out. We remember buttermilk's a bit more acidic, obviously, than regular milk, which can definitely kind of help activate with cocoa, give you that really nice velvety finish, which is why we see it in desserts like this sometimes. And if you don't have buttermilk, remember that you can add cream of tartar to regular milk. Double check the ratios, I've done it before, but you can do that. I was able to get a small one where there's only 1/2 cup of buttermilk left, and my hubby will drink that much before it expires. So I know I'm okay there. All right. Oh, actually, I'm going to use this. I'm going to add 3 eggs. There those are. Right. All right, and then we're adding 2 tablespoons of vanilla, not 2 tablespoons, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. very big difference, although at least with vanilla, it's not really something doing more than just kind of making it a bit sweeter. But this is already going to be a fairly sweet cake, so don't always want to over sweeten. All right, we're just getting them all whisked together, combined real well. There we go. All right, and now it's time to combine everything, so sit tight. All right, so we're gonna pour all of our wet ingredients in there. And I've got my hand mixer if I need it. I'm gonna try just whisking as the recipe indicates can be done. But in case it's not going super well, I've got the hand mixer at the ready. So we're combining our wet and our dry. There we go, not too bad. And now we're adding what is now cooled down from our chocolate water, instant coffee, or espresso powder, whatever you've got on hand to use, or whatever you're able to find to use. There we go. Now we're gonna gingerly stir that all in. You want it to be just combined, so we've still got enough that's showing kind of the separation, so we need them just combined. So we're waiting until we don't have all that kind of water, like I just did. Fortunately, just a little spill, not too bad. And now I think, get that little bit right there. All right, now it's time to get our pans that I have buttered and dusted with cocoa powder. One sec. All right, so it's gonna get split in between 3 layers, but I only have 2 of these round cake pans, so I'm gonna have to do 2, and then after one of them, after they come out of the oven, clean off one and do the rest. We're gonna just kind of keeping a good eye on it. All right. It's good. Then we're going to put them in the oven for about 30 to 35 minutes until it comes out clean. Check back then. All right, we've done the toothpick test. They're ready to come out. It's just 30 minutes. Gonna let it cool, get one of them out, do the butter and the cocoa powder again, put the rest of the batter in that one, let that cook 30 minutes, come out, let them fully cool, and then we'll be doing frosting, so we will check back at that time. All right, now we're going to start making our ganache. We're going to be chopping up 14 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate. So that's the same kind of chocolate we put into the cake earlier. We're just chopping it up. Then we'll add it with the cream here in a second. I just want it all chopped up so it's easier to melt. So I'll check back with you when it's time to add it with the cream. All right, so I've got our chopped chocolate in here. We have 1.25 cups of very heated till it was boiling in the microwave cream. We're going to cover it for a few minutes. Use one of my new, it's something I got for Christmas. Isn't it cute? Cooking with Kaitlin from my mom. I'm just going to do that. Guest Chef D, as you all know her. I'm going to do that to just kind of collect the heat, and we'll check back in a few minutes. All right. So now we're just stirring it up. And this is going to make our ganache. I'll put it around. All right, it's good looking. Just gonna let it cool some and get set to making our buttercream frosting. 1 sec. All right, now we're doing the buttercream frosting. We're letting it cool. Taking a half of butter that's gotten to room temperature. So we're gonna cream first. Here, have you guys check that out. All right, now poke that out a bit. So I want it all nicely creamed up, not lobbed in the middle of the paddle attachment. I think we're almost there. We're just going to make sure this stuff, the stuff that was there in the middle, is also nicely beaten. That's good. Scoop stuff down. Actually gonna down this stuff. Make sure we get the first bit of powdered sugar in there. Okay. There we go. Yeah, but this should be very decadent treat. About a cup and a half of powdered sugar to add. Make sure that's the right amount. That's the low. So I don't line everywhere. Add some more. We'll just keep adding till it's all incorporated. And then it'll be time to frost the cakes. Might need to get that first, and then finish with the beating of it. Yeah, but hopefully you'll have some fun weekend plans, whatever they may be. If it's good weather, hopefully you'll get nice. That's the great weather. Hopefully you're taking time to rest, maybe getting something done, you know, a project or something fun in the house, maybe a little board game night with your family or your roommates or your way, that sort of thing. But yeah, just enjoying it. Let me lift it up and stack the sides down some. We're getting there, but just want to make sure before we add our other stuff, this is all well and truly mixed together like we need it to be. This is really the basis, obviously, for any kind of buttercream frosting. Sorry, did not mean that, you guys. All right. I'm going to add in a teaspoon of vanilla. There we go. Doing just a little pinch of salt in there. Now I'm going to check and see if the chocolate's cooled down enough. Added. So you want it close to room temperature. Obviously, if it's exactly room temperature, since all you did was just melt a chocolate bar, it would become totally solid again. You just don't want it hot or really warm. You know, like that moment where you know you've got to reheat your coffee or your tea. It's not cold. It's not quite room temperature, but it's not anything that you would drink. Not even that like basic warmer. You're like, oh, I've had most of it. I can have 2 sips of this. It's like, no. If we are past. Sorry, just awkward angle because of where the paddle kind of wound up before being able to get it all out there. Making a nice chocolate buttercream first. I'm going to put it right in scrape down. And then we're going to be doing kind of like this kind of thing, but one of the higher frequencies for 2 minutes. Scrape down. Just one last time. Just get all that off just to make sure. Alright, so we're just going to beat it on high for a couple minutes. And we'll do it. And let it get really nice and fluffy. And then we'll ice. So I'll check back with you when it's time to ice. We're just going to be doing this. Then it'll be good. Alright. So we've got our first layer of our cake. This is the last one. It is... Sorry, I just realized I didn't turn the mic on. So we've got the first layer of our cake to frost. It was the last one I put in. It's definitely a bit thicker than the other two. So it's worth noting for the future. Alright, we're just spreading my frosting on it. And this frosting is only apparently meant to go in between the two. The ganache is meant to go all around. So just bear that in mind when you're making it. It didn't seem like a lot. It really wasn't supposed to. Just, I've got it on, fancy am I, huh? I've got it on my Lazy Susan. And since this is just in between, not quite going so exact, and truthfully with the ganache, I don't think you can go, if you're not just doing it as a hot pour. Don't know how exacting it looks. Never looks exact in the pictures. Even for this, it just looks very spread. Something she had made, Miss Trunchbull probably made for herself or gotten someone to make for her. Yep, we're just getting it all in there. We're going to get our next layer. Do the same thing, and then put our final layer on top. So I'll cut back when it's time to do the ganache. Alright, let's see. 3 layers. My thought. Alright, see, 3 layers. Got the ganache. I'm going to be honest, because ganache you do kind of pour and let it spread. But this is thicker. I still think I'm going to apply that logic. Let it go down and just kind of pat it in as needed. I'll do this one first. Here's hoping my idea works. I'll say that at the very least, you've got it at the top of every layer, which is a start. Kind of do like that. Alright, I'm going to check back when we're done doing that kind of a round cake. It's all frosted, it's very messy, so we're going to clean it up. And now it's nicely cleaned at the bottom. Famous Trunchbull chocolate cake from Matilda. Bon appetit!